Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dracula's Legacy. Let's continue. So we went a little long doing this puzzle that I had never seen a slide puzzle quite like that, and we solved it, so I can't click on it. Now I have a key that gets me into another room, so forward we go. The kitchen. Again, notice that the key just kind of floats towards the door then fades out instead of actually going in the lock and interacting with a smooth and realistic animation. Little things like that probably don't really matter in a hidden object game, but in a lot of ways I guess a hidden object game is just the culmination of saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter over and over again. It's a low effort video game. You're not making the engine, you're using hidden object game engine or some other engine that's already been made. You're possibly not making the art. You're probably not making the sound effects. You might be writing a story, but you might barely even spend an effort on that too. Silver spoon. Can't play it, but a string could be useful to me, yeah. So I'll use the garden shears to take the string. I need to make a crossbow that works. Now, I will say this specific game seems to be an effort to showcase some 3D animation technology skill, maybe as like a school project or something, because it seems otherwise that just wouldn't be in here. We wouldn't have seen 3D monsters and characters walking around and attempts to have the characters talking. Let's see. I'm melting something apparently. Cheese? Piece of cheese, I don't know how long it's been here. See, we have... Let's see, spoon. Well, that's silver. And I guess I could get the arrows and tip the arrows in silver. Let's see, hammer the cheese. I guess not, so I think that's probably all I need to do right now. The string just works. And so we now have the crossbow. And over here we have a hammer to fix this ladder, but I would need nails. That might be an interesting effort. We have this full of arrows. And over here, do we have anything else to click on? This. Oh yes, there are nails all the way back here. It's been a long time since we've been here. So we may very quickly be done with this game. There's still a little bit more story. We're still trying to look for our boyfriend Matt. We're still gonna need to escape or defeat the vampires. That's all gonna come to some kind of head, I hope, and it isn't just gonna be a like 5-minute like cutscene. It's a little weird that they'd shoot a bat. Why would somebody shoot a bat in a area run by vampires? Do they actually hate bats? That'd be an interesting twist on the tale. So we put the arrow in the silver. We now have a silver arrow and a crossbow with bolts. It's all mixed together. And we have this cheese. So we'll have to come back for that. So we read in a book that silver arrows will take out these daywalkers. Let's get rid of them. See, why would you go through the effort to animate that in a hidden object game? Or even a point-and-click adventure game, which this is kind of more a point-and-click adventure than a hidden object game.
That garden must have been here for a reason. Maybe there's a hiding place somewhere in this room.
Ah, maybe Matt's hiding in this room somewhere? We have to find him. We'll take this. And see, it just knocks us out. And we can't go back when we find something, so it becomes really, really easy. Let's see, so cheese for him. Ew, a rat, but it has something in the hole behind it. I need to flush it out. There's something here. I need to cut the tapestry, and I guess I can't do it with the duster. And is there anything else to click on? Not really. A part's missing. What did I miss? Ah, the duster sweeps this so I can get the knife. That seems really ridiculous. It's one thing to have to get a glove because you don't want to mess with spiders. It's another thing to not be willing to even sweep away a cobweb in the middle of this hugely improbable emergency situation in which you're trapped in a city full of vampires. So give him the cheese. Slice of cheese. Interesting. There must be something more I have to do than just draw them away with cheese. Ah, there's a mousetrap behind that tapestry. How convenient. So, gotta click down here, put the mousetrap down first. This is one of these humane mousetraps that honestly isn't gonna change much. You still need to kill the mouse. They're rodents. They'll breed like crazy. So I mean, you can humanely trap a mouse yourself and then pay an exterminator to take him out back and shoot him with a pellet gun. But that's about all you're gonna do. I imagine the trick here is to not overlap anything, which potentially is gonna be a little difficult, but not really. Let's see. These only turn quarter turns. And you couldn't line them all up. That's not the possibility. So just no overlaps. That's what we're shooting for. And how can we do that? We could do that. All of these puzzles have been incredibly, incredibly easy. Way too easy. They could have made this a 5-hour game easily just by doubling the number of puzzles and making them more difficult. I like the fact that you can skip and all, but
missing pages from the church records. Oh, how lucky that they're undamaged. The townsfolk rejoiced. They started to believe in a happy future again and were extremely hopeful of a miracle cure. But it was not the vampire's plan to rid people of the disease. No, The vampire intended to convert the town's upper class into vampires and dine on the remaining inhabitants. The mayor tried to thwart this horrible plan, but unfortunately he was killed gruesomely by his twin sons, who had been enticed by the vampire's promise of eternal life. Since then, the mayor's ghost has been searching for someone who can destroy the town's bloody curse.
Twin sons.
You're approaching the houses of the twins, who are no longer human beings, but rather bloodthirsty monsters. However, they're not dangerous until night falls.
So the great irony here is, in my working my way through this whole game, I'll reach the exit or the end of the game right as night falls, and then the vampires will kill me. That would be very ironic. Again, we have something on fire for no real reason. So that was a great animation when it was up close on his eye, very, very detailed, and then as it started zooming out, less and less detail around his face and eyes could be seen. So somebody's probably spent hours and hours doing that close up on the eye, and then ran out of time and just like, well, now we're just gonna draw the face. But way, way more work than I've ever seen any other hidden object game do. It's strangely too good. It's like they're tricking me some way. I'm paranoid by seeing something that well animated for a game that's not really up to snuff. Not worth it in a lot of ways. The sad fact is that all the elements of a game need to be somewhat on the same par. They can all be NES 2-bit 8-bit graphics type stuff, or they can all be like AAA super photorealistic graphics, but they need to be consistent. And going from 3D animations to 2D flat things with a few effects is just incredibly jarring. Let's see how many different places we can go. We have path to the park, entrance to the house. Well, it doesn't look like I can go any further this way. Seems to be clogged. I think the water is draining away if I remove the cover. Tree branches over the hatch. The cable's under the water. It's no good idea to approach a puddle when the cable is turned on. Alright, so there's nothing we can do there. And now we're entering the house. This almost feels like this would be the beginning of a different game. Something under leaves. I need to rake them away. Really? You can't even kick leaves? That's a pretty useless character. They can't even kick leaves. It breaks reality at a certain point. I guess it's better than them locking something in yet another chest with yet another key. We've seen so many of those. But only slightly. Here's another hidden object game. Good. I'm glad we are still doing these. Vase. We're looking for a brooch, a horse, a cup of tea. Let's see. Here's a horse. And a teddy bear. Now, is that the rabbit? Is that accurate to call a stuffed rabbit a teddy bear? I guess maybe. I would think teddy bears have to be bears. But maybe I'm being too particular. Binoculars, blowtorch right there. Bird. I know I clicked on the blowtorch before then, and it didn't count it. So we now know for a fact if you don't unlock it on the screen here, you can't click on it. There's a hand, and that leaves the brooch. There's the cup of tea and the half of a coin. That on a coin right there. There we go. And then what else can we click on? So we see all these symbols here. This is interesting. There's like this one and this one. Maybe. Maybe this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Here's the solution. You just gotta find it. You would never brute force that. It would take way too long with too many possible inputs. And there's the brooch. So you probably couldn't have even gotten the brooch if you hadn't cleared stuff out of that way. Let's see. Wonder if this happened to the statue. So maybe I can use the blowtorch to take the head off. Now I have a statue head, ever so useful. And that's half the key. Man, this game kind of is like Resident Evil 4. It's just have half a key and another half a key. Here, burn those leaves. Come on. Won't even let me burn leaves. Alright. We have statue head. Someone's growing garlic. The stems are clearly visible. So, I don't know if I mentioned the reason why they were twins is because, again, they were being lazy with the animation. It's a half-finished game, really. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point this wasn't even a what would you hidden object game. I wouldn't be surprised if there are companies out there that buy products, games that are not finished or having trouble getting finished, and they just take as much as they can and turn it around into a hidden object game. So heavy. This is probably heavy. Now what? That didn't seem like it did anything. It opened that area, but I don't think I can go in it yet. So can we go further back? No, this is the beginning. So let's use a hint just because I'm confused. Go this way, and then show me what I can interact with. Ah, that explains it. Screwdriver, fire extinguisher, flashlight needs batteries to be charged, and that's it. So now it all makes sense. I could see playing this on advanced and taking maybe 20 minutes longer to beat the whole game, but I would be surprised if it was any longer than that. Switch that power off. Alright, there is a flaw with this logic. We just triggered a circuit breaker for a power delivery line. The only time they have fuses or circuit breakers for power delivery lines are at the top of poles, not on boxes around them. Maybe in this area though it's different, or maybe I'm a little wrong about that, but the only fuses I've ever seen were far up ahead in near the wires, not running it downward. I guess I'm just supposed to go forward. Here's a rake. Here's a fumigating fog, but there's no coils in it. That's like mosquito coils, which I don't know if they really sell those anymore. Oil can, bent harpoon out of nowhere. Old fountain piled with leaves. Will let's rake the leaves. Old fountain with piled. You'd think the rake would work on leaves. Alright, and that's the fumigating fogger. Here's the entrance to the house. A missing part. Here it is. Can't see anything, it's too dark. I can see in there just fine. Let's see. Blowtorch. So that's not gonna let me forward either. Let's see. Blowtorch. I can see the latch on the other side. Fine. Stick a rake through it. Stick a screwdriver through it. Really? Stick the harpoon in it? So it doesn't seem like there's anything on that scene right now. Here we've got some bees. We've got a boat. Half-sunken boat. Something shining at the bottom of the lake. I have to find out what it is. But see, I just prefer to go ahead and click when you enter a new area and see it. Wild bees. Let's see. Harpoon. If I use the oil can with the water, it doesn't seem like I can do anything with that. And there's still battery needed there. And I can't go down in this area, probably because it's too dark. Let's see. Oil can on that. Rake on that. Well, we have some leaves at the front of the house to rake through. So we'll rake that. Now we have a grindstone handle. Well, that's not particularly helpful. We have two different half medallion puzzles going on. Does the grindstone handle or the harpoon? And the torch doesn't. The oil can. There we go. That's what we needed. Alright, now we have a key. And let's see. A winch. And the grindstone with the grindstone handle, which maybe I can use the harpoon on it, or the screwdriver on it. Screwdriver with that. How about the bent harpoon with that? Now we have just a regular harpoon. Key on the grindstone. More gas tanks. Not using them right now though. So I guess that's all I have right now. Try this. Fuse. That's all that was. So I have a fuse and a winch. And the fuse doesn't work with the light because those are completely different things. And we have this old fountain full of leaves that we can't start on fire. I'm a pyromaniac, obviously. I'm trying to have everything burn. Let's see. I guess to the lake, and we'll see if maybe this works with this. Maybe I could use the harpoon with the winch. Maybe I could use the harpoon with that, or the harpoon with that, or the harpoon with that. Weird. The game's been so straightforward up to this point, to all of a sudden start throwing some different things out there. It's rather strange. I need to probably turn on the power, and if I need to turn the power on, you can see the latch from the other side. So I think I need to ask for help. Tell me. It says go back. Tell me again. Go to the lake. Have sunken boat with a winch. And harpoon on the winch. No fuse on the winch. Alright. So this will be a little weird. I guess I need to combine everything so it's going correctly. So this goes here. So this should go this way. And then, nope, that's not gonna work. This goes up here, and this can't possibly work. This yellow one we're trying to match them, right? So I'd have to do this yellow one up, down this direction, over here, and cross them over, and it just doesn't allow for that. So I didn't have to do something really, really crazy that can't possibly be the case. So let's ask what I'm supposed to do. Connect elements by exchanging connections. Yeah, that's not helpful at all. Let's see. I can make everything straightforward. That's no big issue at all. But this blue, for example, won't connect to this blue. It would be close to impossible. Like I have to do this, and then this, and this, and maybe the idea is to disconnect everybody, and so that they're wired like that. See, even this pink one is going through this huge loop-de-loop here. For what reason? It still would not connect to that. So the hint hasn't even told me what I'm supposed to do. Connect elements on each side by exchanging the connections. This makes no sense. Now, I used to know resistor code, so I could possibly have calculated this if this was actual, like, resistors code going on here. It's just, it isn't, so. Like this blue one right now is going to light blue. How could I change it so it wouldn't do that? I can't. And there's no moving these things around. And there's no, like, jamming a screwdriver in it. And there's... Maybe it's the blue solid one is supposed to connect to the light blue one, and then the red one is supposed to connect to what? The orange one? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And then it certainly doesn't explain this purple one, because there's a purple one here and a purple one there. Is it simply the one I just added, this white one? Is that the only one that matters? Even if that's the case, I don't think I can get the white one to connect. I don't think I can get any color in this whole puzzle to connect to any other color. Weird. All these puzzles have been very simple up to this point, and now it's going to be hard. For just out of the blue, that's a spike in difficulty that is not welcome. Anywho, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.